We stand on the threshold of a new future. One day, we will build an altar to the living God out of real stones, or brick and mortar and wood. But today, in this place, those stones are symbolic. You and I are the raw material out of which Christ builds His church. We who call ourselves Greystone Baptist Church are the living stones which form the body of Christ, the church. What is the meaning of these stones? They serve as a reminder of all that God has done in the past. Moreover, these stones also serve as a reminder and as a signpost for the present.
Well, it started here when we were at First Baptist Church, and the invitation came from the Raleigh Baptist Association to start a new congregation in this part of the city. And we volunteered along with dozens of others.
So we were from the beginning a people with a community and for a community. And I think that rings true today. I think 40 years in, Greystone is still a people with a mission and a ministry for this community. We worship God together with creativity and authenticity. Again, that's from the very beginning up until today. We are committed to growing in faith together. Greystone's not a place where people can come and stay put. Greystone is a place where we're all going to be challenged to continue moving forward, to continue kind of being in our zones of discomfort, being stretched by one another, and growing into new places with God and one another. Greystone's a place where people can serve. We don't want to just be passive worshipers who sit in the same pew every Sunday and sing the same songs and hear the same sermons and do the same things, but we want to be people who come and serve in rooted relationships with all of our neighbors and with all of our neighbors who live not just near this corner, but who live in our city. And then finally, the word engage that we're using now. Greystone is a place where people come and engage their faith, but also engage their relationships with one another. What that means is that Greystone is a place where relationships are primary. We love God, we love our neighbors, we love one another, and we show up in all seasons of life and faith to do those things. So Greystone is a place where relationships thrive and where we worship, grow, and serve together.
But it was actually really nice when we first started. It was very, very small, so it very much felt like a family.
That was 2003, and that was in the fellowship hall, which was then the sanctuary, and so we got to experience worship in that place as it was done back in the day. Everyone was certainly very warm and welcome. We always felt that, and I think that's the kind of thing that persists even today at Greystone, that feeling of friendliness and warmth.
Greystone means to me a place that I can truly be myself. They accept me for who I am. Pretty much always have been ever since I've been here. I started coming back in high school and kind of automatically felt connected and felt very accepted, and yeah. I found my church and found my family.
I think for me, thinking back, this church has loved me through in every stage of my life, childhood and into adolescence and teen years. And my youth minister married us, my husband and I, and I think back on the foundation that this church built for me and my faith. And, speaking about that safe space that I had here, that's all you can hope for your kids, to grow up in that same environment and that same church family and that same space. So I knew when we came back to Raleigh that there was no other option in my head, that this is where I wanted to be with my actual family. And then, these people in this church, this congregation, have loved me since I was a tiny child, and getting to see them with my kids has been a pretty amazing experience.
Greystone is a place that's still learning. It's open to new ideas and ways of engaging and including people. It's open to new possibilities and ways to minister to the faithful and to be relevant to the community. I find that not only in all the things that we've done throughout the years, chaperoning youth trips and all those kinds of things, but in the things that we're trying to do now as a church. And I think we're just kind of we've always been a church that could do that, and now we're still doing a lot of the good things that we did, but we're also doing some new things to try to be relevant in the community.
Being able to see a church actually becoming established, that part was very exciting. And then knowing that, you know, it absolutely the church is the members, and to see it continue to transition and transform as the membership grows and as the membership changes. And the only constant is change. So, you know, it's good that it's continuing to evolve and continuing to transition, and hopefully, you know, it will go on and on.
I just am very excited about what we will be. And I think if we can keep, as we did when we were kids, like it felt, even when we were young, and that's why my mom, I know, started coming here, was because she said it just felt very vibrant, and it felt like we were trying to do something new, or trying to be a new kind of community, and trying to be there for people in a different way. And I think if we can just keep like that spirit, it's very compelling, and it makes people want to like connect and be a part of it. So.
I think it's been a wonderful experience, to say the least. Just to get to know other people and to have a part in building something for the Lord.
It's home.
That it continues to be vibrant and relevant, not only to the people it ministers to, but to the community. And there's just so many possibilities of things we can do that have been open to me just in the past year that I think we can do, and I'm excited about those opportunities.
That spiritual piece of it, no matter what point of your week or your month or the year, it's been that for me throughout my life, which is, like she said, rare and also amazing to just have a place that you can come with the weird wallpaper that you remember from Sunday school in 1990. It's just, I just kind of like breathe a bit easier when I'm here, and I know that that's, you know, what my family's getting too as well.
I think as time has gone on, we are learning new things about how God's Spirit calls each and every one of us into different areas of service and leadership and fullness of life in our Christian community. And so I hope that as we look to our future, we will become a place that is always examining and re-examining if we have put barriers up unknowingly, and if we need to break some of those down, so that all people, all of our neighbors, because we're a church for the neighborhood, so that all of our neighbors might come here and be celebrated and affirmed for who God has made them to be and who God has called them to be.
The openness to include all really means a lot to me. In our personal family, we have people of all different genres. We do, and they're still our family. We love them. And the idea that there is a place on this property that anyone can come and worship the same God that I love and worship safely. I love that word. You can come here, you can feel included. Greystone's my family, and I want my family to be able to have a place to worship just like I do.
So I think it's critical to celebrate our anniversary, especially our 40th anniversary, because I've been saying this all over the place, but 40 is a year when you have to be like a real adult. Like, you're not a young adult anymore, you're adulting, you're growing up, and Greystone is growing up. And so we have to realize that God has been shaping and forming us in every season of life, in our infancy, in our toddler years, in our adolescent years, and now we're becoming more fully the grown church that God has made us to be, with a clear identity, a clear purpose, a clear mission and vision for the world, not just for us. And so it's important for us to look back and recognize our founding, which affirmed women, because that says something about who we need to affirm going forward. Remember, we're not stuck, we're growing. And so how are we continuing to build upon that foundation to become the church that our neighborhood needs and that our world needs today in 2024?
Happy 40th, Greystone.
Happy 40th anniversary, Greystone.
Happy 40th anniversary, Greystone.
Happy 40th anniversary, Greystone.
Happy 40th birthday, Greystone.
Finally, they serve as a challenge for the future. I do not yet know what all Greystone Baptist Church is going to become. We are still unfolding. There are yet many, many paths for us to walk, and there are many choices for us to make.